let's see. First of all, I have to apologize because I don't speak Swedish. So I'm the exotic one today. Everyone was speaking in Swedish. We are in Sweden. Let me explain a little bit who I am, since obviously I'm new in this country and in this industry. In this country, I want just to introduce myself briefly. I have been in this industry for 25 years. I have begun my career in Rio Tinto. Rio Tinto is one of the largest mining companies in the world. I have been working and living in Africa for 15 years, leading a mining company there, one mining group. This mining group was doing several minerals from iron ore, manganese, and precious metals, and also diamonds. And obviously when people begin to diamonds and gold begin to be very nervous, obviously Africa, gold, diamonds begin to be money laundering, etc. But I was there just to make a project for my previous employer that is like a fire mining, or there is an organization actually that calls fair mining. That means we are traceable the minerals from the scratch to follow the whole chain until these minerals are sold. So we did that because one of our clients was Tiffany's in New York, selling our diamonds, and the US companies are very sensitive about ethicals and traceable minerals. So I was doing that, and that is the reason that Eurobattery Minerals follow me, and I joined this company in November last year. Saying that, I want just to start with the presentation, and I want you to take a look at 45 seconds video of our company, what we want to achieve, and from there I will start to explain a little bit. Good. That's exactly what we want to do. We want to be or to find green minerals for the electrification world. And that is exactly where is our target, to be the function, to be the start of this European traceable and ethical mineral for Europe, for the European market. Everyone is speaking about electrification, mobility, the whole life is mobile, but we want to understand, or that we need to understand, what is electric revolution. And my three previous speakers, or the three colleagues, they spoke briefly about it, and that is exactly what is electric revolution. Electric revolution means that we are shortage in minerals, we need to mine more, it's not enough minerals at the moment, and the demand is growing every year, every month. And if we focus in nickel, in the nickel demand, only in this year, the price is almost 35%, or the increase already 35%. So we need to mine more, and Europe need to be self-sufficient in mine minerals, or electrical minerals. That brings to me the issues. And people normally in these kind of forums, or politicians, or organizations, they don't speak about problems that mining industry has. They don't speak about challenges. And obviously, all of us, we know that, or that people that we have been in this industry for many years, we know that in many countries, like Congo or China, there are a lot of problems. I have been in Africa 15 years, so I can speak clearly and I know what is going on there. And we need to talk about the problems. It is very fun and very cool to drive an e-scooter on the streets in Stockholm. But people doesn't know that 60% of the cobalt is coming from a country where is labor or child labor. It is very cool to have a Tesla car, but they doesn't know that 60% of manganese is coming from China, where is a lot of pollution. So all these things, normally we don't target, or they don't target the companies. But for that reason, I believe that Eurobattery Minerals can help Europe to be sufficient or self-sufficient in minerals. Why? And that brings me to the next word or a sentence, obviously said from someone that is or that knows better than me in the industry, and is we have to invest more money. We are underinvest in Europe. And if we don't change that, and my previous speakers, even though I don't speak Swedish, I understand, spoke about this topic, we need to invest more money in mining industry. And there is a lot of, or there are a lot of money for green projects in Europe. Europe wants to be more green. Europe wants to be in 250 neutral in CO emissions, CO2 emissions. So how we can do that? At the moment, Europe is only producing 2% of the batteries that Europe needs for the electrification of the electrical production or car industry. Even in the next years, when a big company, a Swedish company, is building or will build a big factory, I don't want to make promotion here from names, but will be a big factory in Sweden, they will reach the 7 or 8% of the capacity. We need more mines, we need more battery producers in Europe. So I believe, or that we believe, that Eurobattery Minerals can do that. From the thing that I spoke at the beginning, we want to support traceable and ethical and sustainable battery minerals coming from Europe. A lot of people doesn't believe or that doesn't know that we have sufficient minerals in Europe to produce batteries for this continent. And happens that last year it was a big survey in this country asking Swedish people what they think about the mining industry and electrical minerals. And more than 50% of these people was pro-active, saying that they want more mines in Sweden and not import minerals from outside, and they want to reopen more mines. That will bring me later on to some problems between Sweden and Europe. Saying that, all of us, or I believe all of us, we know how are or which are the minerals that we need in an electrical battery. Just a question. We need to do a little motivation and interactive presentation. How many metals or the minerals there are inside of a mobile phone? Someone knows how many metals there are inside of a battery? No, 35. Every battery, every mobile battery, electrical battery, have 35 minerals. All of them we can mine in Europe. From lithium in Portugal, in north of Spain, even in Austria, there are mines of lithium. Rare earth in the north of Europe, cobalt, my colleagues spoke about it already, etc. All of these minerals is possible to mine in Europe. The problem is regulations and other topics that I will speak to you later on. Even this year, just 10 days ago, the chemistry Nobel Prize was awarded from this country to 3 scientists in lithium development batteries. So people want that this continent produce batteries, or electrical batteries, to avoid to import them from other countries. Let me speak about our focus. Eurobattery Minerals is focused in the 3 largest, or one of the 3 most important metals from the component: nickel, cobalt, and copper. We have, and here comes a very funny thing, we have 7 exploration licenses in the north of Sweden, and 1 full mining license in northeast Spain. And unfortunately, I cannot pronounce the places from Sweden. I can read it, but it's something like a Ferston, something like that. But I apologize for that. So it's very, very hard words for me to pronounce, but are all in the north. We have licenses from vanadium, rare earth, copper, gold, and there are in the north of Sweden, as I said, and we have a project in Spain, in Galicia, a nickel, copper, and cobalt project that I will come back later. Our business model, our ongoing business model. Normally, what we have is 4 or 6 projects going on, like we have at the moment. We have the Swedish projects in the north, and we are looking always for opportunities. We go to the next step, normally with 2 or 3 projects after we analyze them. And that is where we have the status in the Spanish project at the moment. And then we go to the next step to go to development the mine. So that is normally what Eurobattery Minerals is doing. Always bringing new projects, we analyze, and in the pyramid we go up until we development whatever we believe could be a successful development. As I mentioned it at the beginning, our flagship project is in northwest Spain. Just very briefly, it's located in Coruña. That is 60 kilometers it's in the province Coruña, and the mine, or the potential mine, is 60 kilometers from the city. We have 2 biggest ports, Coruña and Vigo, well-paved infrastructure, water, electricity, not environmental issues. It is, or that is, a fully mining license, means that is full to operate it when we want and when we are ready. What we have done since we bought the assets at the beginning of this year, is that the project had 15 kilometers core available from the 80s and the 90s. So what we have done is we have started to do some sampling, and we have done over the summer. We have collected 2,000 samples from the surface. We have analyzed in ELS lab. We have the results already. There are very promising results, better results than the original one in the 80s and the 90s. And 2 weeks ago, we start to drilling. We will drill probably 6 holes, around 250, 300 meters deep. And that is the first results of the cores that are there. As you can see already, visually very clear sulfide nickel. Obviously, we have to cut it. We have to do petrology activities and etc. But you can see that it's a quite big grade of sulfide, nickel sulfide already in the quartz. So that is what we are doing at the moment. When we finish that in the Q4, we expect it to be, or beginning of next year, to be ready for the pre-feasibility studies, and sometimes in the Q1 next year to make the project bankable when we believe that the already promising results are available from the lab. So just to make the 3 biggest points from this project is we have a full mining license. The samples that we are getting confirm a very high grades of nickel and cobalt, and yeah, the drilling campaign, as I said, will be finalized during this year. Let's move to Sweden. As I said, beautiful picture, green, but that is where are the problems, where we start with the problems. We have 7 licenses in Sweden. We have done some consulting mining activities during the summer. We have made some samplings, as we have done in Spain. We have sent that to the lab, and we had a collaboration with the Uppsala University, led by a geology professor, or a professor in geology, with the students. Then he wants just to collaborate with us in the rare earth licenses than we have there. So looks very promising, some of these projects, but we have to continue with more activities and to look with potential collaborations, maybe with other companies, since our licenses are between other big mining players like Boliden, etc. in the area. So we are looking for some synergies together. Let me explain you, or show you very short, our exploration program from our company, just to give you a briefly calendar program, what we are doing and what we do. So as I said, we are here in the drilling in October. We will do the analysis with the laboratory, and everything will be finalized in this year. And at the beginning of the next year, we will take a look how much resources we have. We have already, from the 80s and 90s, a calculation, but what we are doing now is to reconfirm this core and exploration target or the resources that has been done in the 90s in the mine. So at the beginning, as I said, at the beginning in the Q1 next year, we will be in the position to have a York. And again, here, with the Swedish projects, we are reviewing constantly, and we have also, we are in the process to analyze other opportunities in other countries in Europe to bring to our portfolio. Our corporate summary, very briefly, everybody knows, can follow in internet. The only thing that I want to add it here is that in the last 2 months, our share price had increased 200%, more than 200%. I strongly believe, that is because we are performance in the market, we are bringing promising results with independent laboratories and independent people, and that is the reason that our results on our market capitalization has been increased considerable in the last 2 months. We have almost double, well, more than double that, actually. Why you should invest in Eurobattery Minerals? I have divided that into things, in macro highlights and internal highlights. The macro highlights is we are focused only in the EU space, and we believe is enough potential in the continent. We don't need to go to outside. We don't need to look for minerals outside to this continent. And it's a stable space politically, and legislation is very stable. And I believe that maybe later on Gabriel asked me about legislation in the countries, but it's very stable space. It's not like a mining in South America or in Africa. And obviously, the growth of electrical vehicles or electrical batteries is growing absolutely amazing every month, just continuously. We are not more mines in 2025. Europe will have a lack of opportunities. And internally, the highlights of our investment is we have the license. We don't need to wait 2 or 3 or 4 years for a license. Sweden is highly regulated country, extremely highly regulated. Doesn't mean that it's not possible, but it takes more time. That is the reason that always we try to balance our projects, not only in Sweden, so in other European countries. And that is the reason we have started with Spain, where we have the full mining license. And our results are very, very promising. And again, what we want to do is we want to trace and to be part of the ethical and traceable mining, European mining industry. And we believe that we have a good pole position to do that. Thank you very much for your time, and welcome.